And we are live. Wim Dijkgraafje, Quotation Factory founder, CEO of Quotation Factory, as well as the recently launched Higgs platform, HIGGX. A couple of days ago, I posted a video on LinkedIn, and I got a lot of direct messages asking, what the hell are you guys building? I have no idea what this is. Well, let me show you first, and then I will explain what we will come up with pretty soon, actually. So what I showed in the video was actually this. It's the globe. We are a metalworking focused platform for high mix, low volume metalworking companies, and our main customers are located in the Netherlands. So, and you see it. Let me play it. Yeah. So what you will see here is actually the supply chain. And in a bit, I will change that name, the supply chain interaction as known within our platform. Let me not auto do this and make it a little bit more slow. So what you actually see here is an event log being played. So when businesses interact with each other on our platform, it's about the process of sending a request for quotation, receiving the request for quotation, then a quotation is generated, a quotation is sent, and then that quotation becomes a sales order or is being cancelled. So that is more or less the part of the purchasing process that we automate, especially for metalworking companies. So if I press auto, then it will speed up time, and everything that you see in the simulator is what actually happened on this day, Wednesday, the 4th of February, 2026, at this moment in time. So in a bit, you will see that it becomes darker. There it is. So yeah, that means less interaction because of a lot in the supply chain is still done by people. Good. So now the question is, but dear Wim, explain me what the hell is the value of this? Sorry for that word. Let me remove it here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share another screen. Let me stop that one. What I'm going to share you is a diagram from a world standard by OASIS, the Standardization Institute. Here we are. Share. So what you see here, for those that like modeling, this is a UBL use case diagram. Sorry, a UML use case diagram. And what you see here is that the process is modeled from a buying perspective. And that's critical. That's what I try to explain. And I hope it will come across. We, right from the start, adopted UBL as UBL, so Universal Business Language, as the standard for terminology, for process flow as well as for document and information interchange. That means that if you look at UBL, then, and this is the somewhat older version, so there are newer versions of these models. So this is the 2.1 version of the standard. You see that it starts with the buying process. And what's interesting in this context is that UBL talks about parties. So a party is a company, for example, in our context. it talks about parties, and they can have roles in a buying process. And those roles, in this case, there are many roles, but the two relevant roles are, it can be a buying party or a selling party. That means that if you are a metalworking company and you are in the process of replying to a request for quotation, you are part of this buying process, but your role is a selling party and your customer's role is a buying party. Same process, same documents, other role, specific role, selling party. But as soon as you are going to buy raw material from a raw materials distributor, same process, but your role changed. Now you are the buying party and your supplier is the selling party. So as a metalworking company, you do contract manufacturing. So actually your customer buys from you, and then often you are gonna outsource specific manufacturing or working steps. For example, you are a metalworking company not doing surface treatments. So you want to be able to participate in the supply chain, and you connect from a buying role to the surface treatment party who has a selling role. And those processes are actually constantly the same. It's just a UBL buying process and what changes is that every party has a specific role in a certain context of a transaction. Okay, having explained that, let me share my screen again. Sorry for the delay. So now, if you look at this screen, at the bottom right, you see seller, buyer. So in this case, the green dots are the buying parties and the blue dot is a seller party. By the way, this is real data. This actually happened at this moment in time in the Netherlands in this network, but I anonymized it, so all the names are anonymous, the parties involved are anonymous. And here you see the historian, so this is a completely event-driven or event-based architecture, and the UBL-related events are actually stored in an historian, and what this app does is it's just a fancy visualization of what is stored in the historian related to, because we store a lot of events, but just the events are displayed here, which are relevant for the UBL buying process. Okay, so event store, we have an UBL-based buying process. That buying process is about how the standardized workflow flows, which parties are responsible at which moment in the workflow, which documents are interchanged, and which states or events, state transitions can happen, and events are raised or triggered or observed. Okay, now let me share my, so that is what this actually shows. It shows parties changing roles in a demand network. So now you see, if we talk UBL, we speak a buying process, and you participate in that network. So it's a demand-driven approach. So that's why I prefer demand network instead of supply chain. So supply becomes demand, And chain becomes network because it's actually a graph model of all kind of parties that configure themselves to do business with each other in a buying or selling party role. Okay, now let's switch again to make it even more specific and clear. Share screen, and now let's go over here, share. So this is the Quotation Factory quoting platform. So let me just quickly show you what happens here. And in a couple of weeks, I can show you all of this real time. This is real time, by the way, but I mean what I do, how that influences what happens real time in the demand network. So what you see here is I created a new project. I'm about to define a request for quotation. And defining a request for quotation for metal workers is now as simple as I drag and drop, in this case, a CAD model of an assembly and the engineering drawings as well. I'm not going into the details here, but what you see happening here is a fully automated transformation of an engineering BOM into a manufacturing bill of materials. So now I'm in the defining state, I'm doing things, and when I press request, now a formal request for quotation is created, and that part of the UBL process step has been performed, documents are interchanged, and those events are triggered in the event store. So now, when you saw on the globe that an RFQ was sent from a buying party to a selling party, that is actually under the hood what happened here. So now we are quoting. Now, for the sake of simplicity, let's suppose that this is correct. And now I want to send a quote. Yeah, okay, I thought of that. But this would be the trigger to have a formal quote or a quotation, and then the selling party is in the workflow step of sending the quote to the buying party. And then we are waiting for the buying party in order to make it an order, or from the selling party's perspective, a sales order. And then what you will see is that the project that I showed you, demo, goes from here to there, to there, to there, up to the point that we can signal the the selling party can signal to the buying party that it is packaging it, it's delivering it. Sorry, I skipped this, that it's started producing, it's produced, it started packaging, it's packaged, we are delivering it, now it's delivered. And for all those moments in time in UBL, there are documents, and those documents can be interchanged as an registry. There's another word for it, but I forgot about it in English. Sorry for that. Let me remove this now from the screen. And all those interactions are stored in form of events. Those events are stored in the event historian. But more important is that the buying party on this platform, through an opt-in, opt-out based mechanism, a buying party and a selling party can decide that they want to do business on the network with each other. And when they create that connection themselves in the network, they are able to opt in and opt out and subscribe to events. So, for example, the selling party can give the buying party access to events that describe what happens in his factory. For example, at what moment in time did I start producing? At what moment in time I start packaging? It's packaged. It's loaded on the truck. We are on our way. And that way, because a quotation actually becomes a promise or a commitment from a selling party to deliver to the buying party not only a quality product but also within the promised lead time. If he is not able to deliver as promised, the buying party should be able to discover that as soon as possible and take that into account and do things. Well, I don't know the words for that right now. But it's so what this creates is a transparency. Two things. During the quoting process, all parties involved will be able to quote very fast over this digital demand network. So that's one business advantage. The other thing is that the demand network, the parties that do business with each other, determine the transparency that they want to give each other. In other words, the demand side can give signals to the the buying party can signal to the selling party that there are upcoming demands that he already can take into account. And the selling party can give transparency to the buying party, which gives the buying party the ability to determine the chance that this commitment will be fulfilled. And if not, he can take actions he can proactively take actions. And what you see now within the supply chain, we need, or it's common to use ERP systems with the selling and buying functionality. What you see now is that Quotation Factory will have those functionalities as well. So it will have a module based on the UBL standard, which is a standard workflow exactly the same as UBL has described, in which two parties or multiple parties in the demand network have various roles, like the selling and the buying party role. The advantage of that is that during the quotation process, when those parties have automated their quoting process, and that already is common with our customers, having, for example, self-service portals or super fast responses to inquiries. But now they are able to also get super fast responses when they have planned to outsource work and obtain a quotation from their suppliers. So that part of the demand network will become totally automated and digitalized. Without the need to use the ERP system in that stage of the process. When it really becomes an order, then the supply chain will, that part of the supply chain will confirm that it becomes a sales order for all the parties involved, and then ERP can pick up the rest of the process. And what I showed you, the transformation of the engineering BOM to a manufacturing bill of materials has been done within the Quotation Factory platform throughout the supply chain or the demand network, so for every of the parties involved. And that when the signal comes that it is a sales order, that whole bill of materials with the routing and which parties are involved for which kind of work, etc., and the prices that they have agreed will all be synchronized with the ERP system to pick up the next scheduling and the actual buying processes. So that's what we are building, and that is what let me once again share my screen. And that is what this SignalMesh, why this visual representation is relevant to show and how to interpret it. So again, here you see parties, their transactions based on the UBL standard with their buying and selling party roles, exchanging digital documents, which results in events in an event store. And that is why we are able to play what has happened in this demand network in the Netherlands. We can play that back, and it acts kind of a simulation. Over the next couple of weeks, I will explain more about what we are actually building, about the details of this SignalMesh. Quotation Factory will do the whole work preparation up to the interaction and come to a sales order. It does do the transformation from an engineering BOM to a manufacturing BOM, then create a quote on top of that, etc. That's one product, and the other product is the SignalMesh, in which the whole coordination within the demand network takes place. Okay, that's it. I hope it inspires you. If you want more information, please get in contact with me. Go to our website, quotationfactory.com. You can easily get in contact there with me by booking a meeting. If you are interested in Quotation Factory platform itself, just as a quoting solution, you have the option there for a try it yourself. So it's totally based on land and expand. You can onboard yourself within a couple of minutes, and you will be up and running, of course, based on basic settings. And for also interesting to know is that configuring a platform like this is not even close to an ERP implementation. Often we can, or commonly we can onboard new metalworking companies within 4 working days, given the right preparation to be done both on a customer and on our side. That's it for now. That was the explanation. I hope inspiring. Get in contact with me, and I see you soon. Thanks a lot. Have a great Easter.